Okay, our next guest is an Ifbb pro. He's been in the industry a long time. You might know him as the guy who likes to take out the dogs. He's one and only Jerome Ferguson.
Yeah.
Why did what's his name, Lonnie Teeper, give you the nickname Hollywood Ferguson? Where'd that come from?
You know what, dude? I'm gonna have to bag it up and keep it real. John Lindsay gave me that name, dude.
Ah, Lonnie Teeper takes credit for that name.
He kind of takes credit for it, you know. But I mean, I'm not on. But John Lindsay, you know, I remember maybe it was like 2001 or whatever. You know, what do you think? Who do you think you are? You Hollywood? Because I think that's when I first did the Who Let the Dogs Out in 2000, 2001. And he was like, who do you think you are, Hollywood? You know, and so that's how it, you know, personally think, you know, how it basically came out in the beginning.
It stuck. Now, for people who might not know what we're talking about, when you would do your posing routines at the national level, whether it be the USA Nationals, you used to do this crazy routine to Who Let the Dogs Out, and you would take your hair out because you got long hair, and you just let it go crazy, and you just do this real funky, you know, type of music, dancing type stuff on stage. What inspired you just to do that the first time? I loved it because most people are so boring on stage, and you can barely watch it.
You know, Dave, I've always been an entertainer, dude. That's been part of my personality. And believe it or not, it comes from my daughter, man. We were sitting around watching 101 Dalmatians, you know, and it was like, Dad, I like that song, Who Let the Dogs Out? You know, and I was like, huh? Yeah, I like that song. You know, you should pose to it. And I was like, okay. And then I just create this cool dance, you know, like go around in a circle like a dog chasing his tail and going back and forth all day. And there it go, man. Who let the dogs out?
You know, people don't realize that because I don't have kids, but I have little dogs. And what I do with the dogs is and I do it with people around. I don't even realize that anymore. I make these funny dog voices. Like I have each dog has their own voice, and it's like a really high-pitched voice that I do, which you would never expect to hear me do it. And I go around and I chase them around like a retard. You know, to any person outside would think I was crazy. So you probably do the same thing with your kids, I'm sure, and then you just translated that onto the stage, right?
Exactly right. That's why I used to do it with my daughter. We used to play around, have fun, and I just took, you know what? It made her happy. She loves seeing me on stage, and I just create this whole crazy routine for her. Who let the dogs out? And then everybody started liking it. And I was like, okay. And then everybody told me I really had to do it. And and that's how Who Let the Dogs Out. So every routine I did, I started out with a, kind of serious song, did my routine, right. And then close to the end, I put out, Who Let the Dogs Out? Ooh.
I love it because you and I have talked about this before that especially the bigger guys, most of their routines are so boring. Oh my God, you want to put a bullet in your head. I don't know why people can't be creative.
I know, man. It was like enough already. It was like, I've watched so many shows over the years, and about time they get up to the big guys, I just want to go home. And I'm passionate bodybuilder, and people in the fans see the same thing, and I'm like, this thing's going to be a fun entertainment, and I'm an entertainer. I love to have fun, and dude, I'm like, let's wake this joint up. Let's get this party started now, baby.
You're right, for the super heavies, and then everyone is like wide awake, and they leave with a smile on their face. I used to do the same thing. I wasn't the best poser, but I always tried to do something creative so that when people left, they were smiling, They bought the ticket for a show. They come to see a show. Right.
You know what I mean? Like any theatrical show, any bodybuilding show, bodybuilding is still a show, and people want to see a show. And I'm like, hey, that's what it's all about, man. Give them a show. I agree.
We have to have like American Idol for like bodybuilders or something like that. That's You see the level of routine go up really fast if we did that.
Really fast, man.
I was just talking about this with Melvin Anthony, who has been missing in action at the LA Fit Expo, and he's going to start, helping other guys, put some more creative routines together, which I think is a brilliant idea. I would hire someone like Melvin if I lived near him. I'd hire you too, because you guys got creativity.
You know what? And that'll bring it back for bodybuilding. You know what I mean? Because people want to see bodybuilding, but they really don't want to see a big body on stage hitting poses with, boring music. You know what I mean? Or, they want to see a show. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be Circus Olay, but, they really want to be a show. And, I think, as it goes on, And because I mean, when I first did it, believe it or not, the judges and people really didn't. I mean, the judges kind of liked it, but John Lynn is kind of like hesitant. Say, hey, what are you doing? Because I kind of changed the whole, thing with my little crazy routine a little bit. And John was like, that's why he called me Hollywood. He wasn't like, give me a compliment at the moment. He was like, what do you think you are, Hollywood? But the crowd loved it, so they went along with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I like it, so of course he went along with it.
There you go. He was selling more tickets, so that's why he went along with it, baby.
Well, you've been doing this for quite a while now. Starting in 2004 is really when you kind of broke into that top 5 at the national level. You were fourth at the in the nationals, I believe. I think in the North American, you were second in the heavyweights, and then pretty much every year after that, you kind of was in that top 5 group. However, it took you another 5 years, or 6 years, I should say, before you finally got the pro card at the Masters Nationals when you won the Super Heavy there in the overall there. What do you think was hard? Tell me how hard, number one, it is to get into that top 5, and then why is it even harder to get to that number 1 spot, which I never did get to, by the way. Everyone knows.
Dave, you know what? It was hard. It took me years to even, because I started in 2000, and I didn't break into it until 2004. And you know what I did? I snuck out to the North America, and I think I got second at the North America.
Right.
And then I did the national, and I was kept doing the USA's, and I think I remember a 12th place, might have even been a 16th place in there someplace. But it was hard getting there. But what was really hard is trying to get that card.
What was your problem? Because I remember seeing you at the USA when you were at the weigh-in, and I was predicting you were going to win the whole show, and then the next, you showed up the next day, and you looked a little different. Were you having trouble getting the peak down?
You know what? That's the biggest problem. I don't care what no one says. I mean, I give props to Dexter. I give props. But the hardest thing was to get that peak right. And what I kind of learned at the very end, you really don't have to change anything.
Right. The less you change, the better. I always say the same thing.
The less you change, the better. It was all about water control, because everything else is there. And then you try something different, and it messes everything up. And that's what I kept doing. What
was the craziest thing you did, like, at someone else's advice that you realized in retrospect that you really screwed up big time doing that?
Dude, you know what? Someone advised me to take muffins. Eat muffins.
Oh, my God. How many muffins did you eat?
I think I ate like 6 muffins, but this was in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to tell you a name because the name he's doing really good now.
You think he was trying to sabotage you?
Dude, it was when Dries got his pro card.
Right. That was, what was that, 2005 or something like that? Somewhere?
Something like 2003? 2 or 3, something like that.
I think it was 4. Maybe. Yeah, yeah. So what happened? So
So before prejudging, trying to muffin up, and I never ate muffin. I always carved up, yams or potatoes or rice.
And it
was a mess, man.
And what happened? You just smoothed out completely from all the sugars?
Smoothed out, like over sugar. Body went crazy. It was almost like looked like I was fat on stage.
I'm glad you're admitting this because a lot of guys would feel so horrible about what happened that they wouldn't even say it. But you do admit it because you know what? No one just shows up one day and then looks completely different the next day. There's always something that goes on, and we need to reiterate this because you train a lot of people on a regular basis, and I'm sure you've learned from this. You've gotten wisdom from doing this. The less you do, the better. I say it all the time to these guys, and I see this crazy nutty stuff that they do, honey or like you said, muffins, or they start eating French fries or pizza, and then all of a sudden they go from looking amazing, maybe a little flat, to being completely bloated, out of control the next day.
Yes, I agree.
So, no more muffin loading for you.
No more muffin loading, baby. The thing is, it's hard to do, but you got to be confident in what you bring to the stage. If you get it ready before you need to show it, it's going to be ready when you show it.
You're right. 100. The best advice that anyone could listen to. All the listeners out there, listen to this advice. Jerome Ferguson has learned the hard way, and he's giving you wisdom. Don't ignore it.
the next to do, get ready before the show. And if you're ready for the show, you ain't got to do them. Step on stage and show them what you got.
You said it, man.
If you got to do all this crazy stuff, you're done.
You said it.
Might as well not even get on stage.
If you have to do this crazy stuff because you don't look that good the week of the show, then you're probably not in shape anyway.
Agreed.
How'd you get into training people at Gold Gym Venice? Did you grow up around there?
You know what, dude? Believe it or not, dude. I'm from Tennessee.
You are from Tennessee. How did you get out to California? When did you get out to California?
Dude, came out in '94. Wanted to be like Arnold.
Wow.
Wanted to be a bodybuilder, man. Wanted to get in TV.
You did. You did get in TV.
And I did. Yeah, got some of that going.
That's how it all What's started. The latest commercial? The last commercial I think I saw you did that Planet Fitness commercial? How'd that come about?
Yeah. You know what, dude? It was crazy, man. You know, I wasn't going to do it. And I talked to Lou. You're an actor. Go act. Go get paid.
Lou Ferrigno, you mean, told you this?
Lou Ferrigno, yeah.
Really?
And I said, okay, yeah. So I get there.
Now hold on, let me stop you for a second. You didn't want to do it because you thought it was making fun of bodybuilding. You thought maybe you'd get some flack. Is that what the problem was?
Yes. You know what? They you know, it wasn't even about getting slack from people because, you know, man, either people love you or they don't, you know. So I you know, I'm all about love. Right. But it was the fact that I didn't like the way they was, you know, they bashing bodybuilders, you know what I mean? The way that they doing it, you know. So I didn't agree with that.
Right, but it's a TV gig. It's at one point it's a message, but at the second point, you're trying to get into Hollywood, literally, and exactly. this is a way in there because a lot of people saw that commercial.
Exactly, over 1.5 million.
Wow.
You know? So
did you make some good money from it?
Dude, I made some good money.
People don't realize that I did a national commercial. They keep paying you every time they freaking show it. You know.
Dude, put it this way, I just got a phone call. Thursday from my agency saying they want to show one of the commercials I did because I did a Kia car commercial. It was on the Super Bowl last year.
Wow, that's
they want to show it in Russia.
Wow, what do you get paid for that? How much extra?
A lot.
Like what? How much?
A lot.
10 grand? More?
Close.
Yeah, no, I know. People don't realize these commercials they pay. You do 2 seconds on TV. I did a satellite radio commercial, XM satellite radio commercial with Howard Stern's future. It was his girlfriend at the time, and I got paid for like 2 years on that thing. They kept sending me checks. It was like a kid in Christmas every time I came home.
Yeah. Dude, I got 13 checks at one time.
Tell me about it. So whoever told you not to do it, tell them to shove it up their ass.
Exactly right, man. And believe it or not, and for a couple months ago, I got 2 more checks from the Planet Fitness commercial because they want to show it again all this year in New York and in LA.
Wow. That's awesome, Jerome. Now, also, people don't realize now they pay also if they do it on YouTube. I hear you get a YouTube check, too.
You get a YouTube check. You just do it. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. And that's the reason this year, officially, because I made money in acting. I've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
You know,